So welcome back to our short video series on culture and organizational team culture specifically. Last time we talked a little bit about what organizational culture is, and in this video, I'd like to share with you just a little bit about why culture matters so much. So if you are in and around organizations, if you are a leader in an organization, so certainly culture is a topic that comes up frequently. And frankly, people sort of kick it around, and I'm not sure often that they even know exactly what it is that they're saying. But it is clear that people fall into two camps when it comes to the importance of culture. And the first is the camp that says absolutely culture is 100% important. Culture is the most important thing in an organization. If our culture isn't strong and positive, then none of the other things that we're trying to do are going to matter that much. And then there's another camp of people that says culture's like the icing on the cake, right? It's nice to have. It's one of those soft, fluffy things that we can add to an otherwise solid business. But the business, the cake in this analogy, has to be strong in and of itself, and we'll add culture if we get around to it later. I'm going to argue that that first camp of people really have it right when it comes to the importance of culture. And there's a couple of really key metrics that I think you can look at to see the impact that culture has on the success, either of a team, an individual team within an organization, or in the organization as a whole. So the first thing that's really important to think about culture, if you think back to that definition of shared values, shared beliefs, a shared system of the way that we do things, culture creates alignment. Right? It creates this sense that the organization and the team are all pulling in the same direction to accomplish the company's goals, to accomplish those strategic objectives. If culture is how we're doing something, then rowing in the same way to get there is really important. It prevents miscommunication. It prevents sort of misunderstandings and hurt feelings. In some ways, alignment is the antidote to some of those team dysfunctions that we talked about in our prior video series. Creating that alignment allows that team to move smoothly and efficiently towards its objectives. The other thing that we know about culture is that culture really creates improved performance, and it does that across several metrics. One of the important metrics is that it prevents burnout and turnover. So folks who feel like they are in alignment with one another, where they are moving smoothly and efficiently towards their strategic objectives, it's easier for them. Things move more seamlessly. They don't encounter a lot of friction and conflict and dysfunction, all of which reduces their stress levels and keeps burnout at a manageable level. That's particularly important when you're looking at mid-level managers, individual contributors, but even up into your senior leadership ranks, managing burnout, preventing turnover is very, very important. It's also really important that you be able to keep your top talent in their seat. This is one of these drums that we've been banging for a long time here at Perfusion Strategies, is the importance of keeping and finding top talent. And one of the stats that you need to know if you're in this camp that culture is a nice to have rather than a core business need is that employees who are connected to your company culture are 55% less likely to be out looking for a job. So in a world where we don't have enough talent to fulfill our strategic objectives, where it's difficult for us to find those top performers that we want to stay on our team, the idea that once we've got them, we really want to hold on to them is important, and culture is a great way to do that. The other thing that we know is that culture becomes a great advertisement for new employees. So it's a great attraction tool. If people have a strong sense of what your organization is about, what your team is about, it's like a giant billboard that says to potential employees, come work for us. It's a great place to work. Here's what it's like. And it also gives your current employees the chance to go out and recommend your organization as a great place to work. We know that employees are 5 times more likely to go out and say to friends and colleagues and people in their network, hey, come work with me. This is a great place, if they're connected with that company culture. So culture isn't just that fluffy icing on the top of the cake of your organization. It's not just a nice to have. It really does impact your bottom line in really significant ways. So I hope you will stay tuned for our next video. We're going to talk about what it is that can damage your culture, what gets you off track in this road to having a fantastic organizational culture.